journey that made us realize that Malaysia was something that we wanted to come back to and something that we wanted to contribute to. So one of the things that we said was, how can we provide this same opportunity, this same inflection point for people who are studying in overseas universities, who want to think about coming back, or at least consider coming back. So we started this thing called the Otak-Otak program. Started in September 2010, and we basically just approached a lot of corporate companies and we said, hey, there are lots of fun, and NGOs as well. Teach from Malaysia, a big supporter. We gave them 3 interns last year and 2 more this year. But basically the idea was to say, can we match companies in Malaysia to interns or to Malaysian students either studying overseas or in local universities? That was really the idea. And basically the way that the business model is set up is that corporates actually pay us, and we pay the interns like a big chunk of whatever they pay us. So the interns get paid, and they get paid much higher market rates than internships currently offer. And we get a small stipend for us to actually sustainably run our business. The first year, we set up the application process in December. We got 700 applications. This year, I did a quick check last night, but we've received 950 applications this year. Last year, I really don't think that speaks to what we are doing. It speaks to the kind of demand, the kind of drive that Malaysian students, not just local universities and overseas both local and overseas universities, the kind of drive that they have to sort of set themselves apart and to participate in a program like that. So that demand is there. Last year we had 40 kids. This year we are aiming for another 50 kids. And we work with companies such as McKinsey, BCG, Teach for Malaysia, Citibank, OSK Investment, a lot of really great companies that are really actively trying to change the business landscape here. So I think I guess the reason why we're interested in this program is because we all feel like if people are given an opportunity to come back to Malaysia and be in this community. Oh yeah, just a little bit about the program. So we have sort of events outside of the internship program. So on weekdays and on weekends. Where, if you're an intern on the program and let's say you're interning at OSK, you also get to speak to Teach for Malaysia people. Last year, all 40 interns, they were taken by Teach for Malaysia fellows and they were sent to like different orphanages, including different refugee homes and what was Yayasan Chow Kit? Yeah, okay. So we had people come in, and the idea is that if you're interning in OSK, if you're interested in finance, there's absolutely no reason why you should not know about the needs of marginalized kids that Teach for Malaysia, Yayasan Chow Kit, they're working so tirelessly to try and end. So the idea is really to create this program where you get to meet all of the different companies. You don't just stay in your own little circle. And then the kids, the interns, the 40 interns last year, on Fridays and Saturdays, on Friday and Saturday nights, they live in Brickfields YMCA. And they had just the best time. There were like late night mafia games, like a lot of fun mamak sessions, and I think it's really about building that community, because at the end of the day, you're not going to come back just for a paycheck. You're not going to come back just for a job. You're going to come back because you have a network of people whom can contribute to you and who are really caring about your development. And I think I'll stop there and move on here. Sorry.
I think about 4 or 5 years ago, I was sitting in the audience just like you guys as well, coming for all these events. There was YCM events, UKC, and the reason why I came was not really because of the panelists, was because to meet other student leaders who I found really inspiring. So the fact that you guys are here, you should actually think about questions for yourselves and your peers. Very quickly about Teach for Malaysia. Teach for Malaysia is a program that believes because a child's background, what his parents earn, what he speaks at home, should not determine his outcome in life. Education is the key to this, and it's not about the number of computers you have in the room, it's not about the walls, whether they're painted, it's not what language you're teaching in, it is the quality of the teacher. But how do you get high quality individuals to become teachers? Well, Teach Malaysia does this through a 2-year fellowship program. Intensive training before you become a teacher for 2 years to show that no matter how much you teach the kids, right, you would learn a lot more in the process. You would learn the fact that their background is not determined. It's not due to a lack of ability, but it's because of a lack of opportunity. And I just want to quickly highlight how we balance it between giving back and whether it's taking care of yourself. There's actually a whole movement of this happening all across the globe. And in this room itself, there's I think 2 Teach for Malaysia applicants starting in 2013. Sean Keng, where is he? Sean is over there. And Sean just joined us and he'll be starting in October for his training. And also Jason So at the back. So Jason, you've got to stand up, Jason. Come on, quickly. Okay. So these are 2 guys that have taken the leap and they're going to be teachers. They gave up their corporate jobs. They were both studying I think engineering, accounting and finance or something along those lines. Parents probably told them to be lawyers, bankers or doctors. They said, no, I'm going to be a teacher. The parent almost flipped, okay? So what we do is we say, don't worry sir, it's only for 10 years. Sorry, 2 years. 2 years. Because in that 2 years, no matter how much they teach the kids, it's actually how much they'll learn in the process. And once they leave that 2 years, it's actually a leadership development program because how do you actually stand in front of a classroom? How do you inspire kids? How do you motivate kids? You heard Rajesh talking about inspiring and motivating an organization, 40 or 400,000 people, how difficult that would be. Think about how it is to inspire 40 kids. With those skills, with the knowledge that the problem can be solved, do you think Jason and Sean will walk away after that? No. They'll be committed towards the movement to end education inequity, but they might be in education, they might be outside, but as an alumni movement, they would form a local, national movement for change. Now to balance that out, Howard Schultz talked about having a third place, right? To go between the office and the home. Now there's always the public sector, the private sector, and there's always considered the third sector, which many of us are in, right? And I believe that the third sector should be more effective and more efficient, dollar to dollar, than both the previous 2. For that also, with Teach Malaysia set up, we're very lucky to have a not-for-profit, tax-exempt status, etc. to collect the funds, right? But we are run as an aggressive corporate entity ourselves. Clear goals, big goals, a board that challenges us to deliver, and we also then want to recruit aggressively for the team. On the team as well, you got Fariza and Laveen at the back there, who are top graduates themselves and who gave up their jobs to join. Laveen and Fariza, please stand up. So Fariza and Laveen also are well educated. They had previously corporate jobs elsewhere, and they left to come and start up Teach Malaysia. All of them leaders in their own right. I was working in PwC before this, and Dato Johan was my former boss, and he gave me the same advice about what personal brand. I remember the one thing only, reading. He named the whole list of things that he read. I just read Economist, and I can guarantee you reading and networking is very, very important. Building relationships. The amount of support, like when Chris Talk was helping out, when Teach Malaysia was starting out, bouncing off ideas with Joyce and Mandu, all of it just comes together. You never know who you meet and how they would be able to help you in your mission, and you'll be able to help them. So when Chris Talk said he was been helping out with so many things, I said, what are you going to do next? He's going to start his own thing. And he said to himself, I said, what are you going to start? And he said he wanted to start something to get people to help connect people together. He wanted to help people accelerate whatever their projects was, and I thought that was brilliant because I knew that was his forte, that was his purpose, that's why he lived and breathed. Great. I'll share a story about why I chose Teach Malaysia and education, why that's really important. It doesn't matter how, like Rajesh said, grand your purpose is. It's about you have to know your purpose, period. And my purpose happened to me when I was going through school. Education was a piece of cake for me. I sat in front of the classroom, asked questions, got A's easily. My brother, on the other hand, had dyslexia. And all throughout school, he was told that he was going to be a failure. Teachers come up to me and ask me, why can't your brother be more like you? I was very polite and I told them, I'm sorry, teacher. But in my heart, I was really angry. I wanted to be more like my brother. He was sharp, he was edgy, he was chatty, he knew what he wanted, he was passionate. I didn't know what I was passionate about. Throughout my whole life, I was just wondering about just getting grades. Anybody who passes SPM with good grades becomes an engineer, mechanical engineer. In front bureau. After that, you don't know what you want to do after an engineering degree, you become a consultant in PwC. Or McKinsey. Right? And in that process though, I realized that my brother was told he was going to be a failure in school. and not just any school like you. I would say it was one of the best schools in Southeast Asia. It was a boarding and day school in Singapore as well. We were in the Malaysian system, but the last 2 years of our education system, my parents moved abroad, so we got international exposure. And this international school told him, you're going to fail. My father, not so many words, so little words, showed the finger that we all know as the third finger. And he took him out and found a different school which actually believed in this, in my brother. From being a failure, cutting a long story short, my brother is now on a full scholarship at the University of Zurich to do environmental research on reforestation for rainforest in Sabah. He is my inspiration. He's only like 26 or 27 years old, younger brother, but he was my inspiration. That education can change and is a powerful tool. And that right now the problem that we have is that we don't leverage of the talent that we have locally, or even the marginalized children as well, etc. So education is so important that it drives me like day to day. And that's why like this starting up Teach Malaysia is so important. So for you guys out there, like sitting down here, think about what's your purpose. Find your purpose, define it, get clarity. From there you'll know what to say no to. You have to say no to a lot of things. From that no, then you get to move on very quickly. Thank you very much.